everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Marvel Legends Infinite Series 6-inch Ant-Man figure from Hasbro Toys. Now this figure is a Walgreens drugstore exclusive. It was just announced at San Diego Comic-Con and it has started to hit shelves now. The figure comes packaged in the same style of packaging we've seen with the other Ant-Man Legends figures. You've got the Ant-Man logo up top, you've got the figure clearly displayed in the window box packaging, then you've got the Marvel Legends Infinite Series logo down below along with the name of the character. On the sides you have some images of some ants, and then on the back you have an image of the character or the figure along with a brief bio in multiple languages. Okay, so let's get this figure open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging. So this version of Ant-Man is based on the Eric O'Grady version, which was known as the Irredeemable Ant-Man. Basically, they call him that because his motives aren't the most pure. He ends up stealing the suit from S.H.I.E.L.D. and eventually he joins the Secret Avengers, where he's actually, and here's a little bit of spoiler, he's actually killed and then replaced by a life model decoy by a group of robots known as the Descendants and sent to infiltrate the Secret Avengers. So this version of Ant-Man is actually that life model decoy that the Descendants send. So it's not really Ant-Man at all, but they call him Black Ant in the comic books. So I guess that's probably not well enough known name for them to name the figure that on the packaging, but if you want to get technical, I think the proper name for this figure would be Black Ant. Now this figure incorporates the same body as the pizza-eating Spider-Man figure. Different head sculpts, but everything else is pretty much the same. We've got two close-fisted hands on this one. There's no additional hands with this version of the figure. This figure comes with no accessories at all. So this, what you see is what you get. Paint applications are okay. It's probably the weakest thing about the figure. You do have some bleeding on the red here on his chest area, up around his shoulder. You can see the black kind of bleeding through. And then even on this little circle area, you can see some black dots coming through. I don't think it's supposed to be like that, so but definitely up here on the shoulder you've got some black bleeding through, and then down here like on his lower leg near the peg of the hinge joint for his knee, you can see some red bleeding through on the black, and then you can kind of see that again throughout the figure around the hinges and stuff. There's just red bleeding through the black through various portions of the figure. So it's not horrid, you really only notice it when you're looking at the figure up close, but definitely it's not the strongest paint job on a Marvel Legend figure. And the paint applications themselves are basic. The costume is just red and black, no kind of wash work or anything like that. You've got the belt piece on the figure, which is separate, and it's kind of just glued onto the figure, and he's got a metallic silver belt buckle. And then his helmet is painted all black. He's got, the skin tones are good on this one for his exposed face, and then he's got some neon orange with white pupils for the eyes, and then that same neon orange is used, so the little dots, and then this stripe that kind of goes up over his head towards the back. And then he's got the little antennas, which are just the kind of soft plastic. You do want to kind of be careful when you're like turning the head and stuff. It's on there pretty good, but if you're not careful, you could possibly snap those off. So the figure stands at about 6 1/4 inches tall. He's the same height as the pizza-eating Spider-Man figure. Here he is next to the old Toy Biz Hank Pym Ant-Man figure, and this new one's just a hair bit taller. And then he's about the same size as the recently released Goliath figure that came in the Marvel Legends box set, which was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. And then again, here he is next to the Giant Man figure released in the regular wave of Ant-Man Legends. And they're about the same height as well. Hank Pym comparison, here he is next to the Hasbro Yellow Jacket, which again, the Ant-Man figure is a little bit taller. And just for one more comparison, here's, if you're looking for like a small Ant-Man to go with this figure, it's not a perfect fit, but this little Scott Lang Ant-Man that we got in the Marvel Legends box set this year, which was this year's San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, kind of works. It's not exactly the same costume, but it's very similar. basically just black and red, and this little figure doesn't have a whole lot of details. So if you kind of wanted to, like I said, have a makeshift O'Grady Black Ant miniature Ant-Man, then this one does kind of work. So real quick, I just wanted to see, I kind of, based on the idea of the 3 1/4 inch or the 4-inch Hank Pym figure we got in that San Diego Comic-Con box set, I thought, this figure might make a good, cool, Hank Pym in lab coat. So I took the lab coat from one of the old Toy Biz Marvel Legends. I forget if this is from, I think this is from Doctor Strange or Doctor Octopus. Might have been from the Beast, I forget which one, but basically took the lab coat from one of those figures and then took the Steve Rogers head that we've gotten a few times and stuck it on this one, and it kind of works. The only problem really is the ball joint on this particular figure is a bit big for this head, the hole in this head. So you could probably, if you really wanted to, get this head on there, but it doesn't quite fit, so you can't just easily pop it on. But if you're into like kind of looking for a custom Hank Pym version, even though technically this isn't the Hank Pym Ant-Man, you could kind of make it work if you wanted to. So articulation is good on this figure. It's the same as the pizza eating Spider-Man. The head is on a ball hinge joint so he can look left and right good, and he's got good up and down movement with the head. Arms are attached with your standard ball hinge joints at the shoulder so he can get his arm out good, and he's got good rotation there at the arm. He's got that inner chest joint as well so he can kind of get his arms back as well. He's got the bicep swivel. He's got a double hinged elbow, so he's got good bending at the elbow, and then he's got the swivel at the wrists, and he's got the hinges on the wrist, so he's got good up and down movement with the hands. He's got the ab crunch joint, so he can crunch down pretty good, and he can look up. He's got a waist swivel. Legs are attached with ball joints, so he can do the splits about that much. He can do his leg forward good, and then can kind of do it out and back. He's got a thigh swivel. He's got double jointed knees, so good bending at the knee. And then he's got the ankle pivots with the hinges, so he's got good up and down movement with the feet, and then he can pivot to the left and the right. And then 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet. So that's my review. Overall, I think the figure looks pretty good. Good articulation. Paint applications are so-so. They're not great, but they're not horrid either. I think if you're looking for a modern version of Ant-Man, this figure will fit the bill. However, if for some reason you can't find it or don't want to try and track it down at Walgreens, I don't think it'll leave a huge hole in your collection either. So I kind of like the choice of this more obscure version of the character that they went with as a Walgreens exclusive. This figure is hitting Walgreens shelves now. It's going to cost about $20, so same price as a normal Marvel Legends. It is available on their website as well at the time of the filming of this video, so if you don't have a Walgreens near you, you can order it online at this time. That's our review. We'll have a full gallery of images up at marvelousnews.com. As always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And until next time, I'll catch you later.